Hey everyone, got another Bible I want to show you guys. This is the Swindoll Study Bible, large print from Tyndale. These two Bibles were sent to me from Tyndale to review, and one's a hardback, one's a LeatherLike synthetic cover. The hardback comes in this slip cover, okay, and the synthetic comes in this two-piece box. And it's a nice box, really nice, really good protection. On the back, you can see some of the features. And we're going to go through that when we open the Bible up. You got a picture of Chuck Swindoll and just some information there. I think you got the ISBN here. Okay, you can see it printed in South Korea. That's awesome. That's always good news. South Korean printings are some of the best in the world, so that's really good. Nice paper and great printing. One negative, which is it's gonna sound like a big negative, which it kind of is for me personally, is that these Bibles are glued bindings, and I just have never really had the best of experiences with glued bindings. And one of the problems with glued bindings is you can already see those two separations in that. All that is this stack was misglued in two places. You can see how it stair steps slightly. It also does it in the hardcover, but it's hard to really tell. It's hard to tell because there's no gilding, but you can feel the stair step there. And there's a stair step pretty evident right there. You can see at the top. That's a problem. That means it's misglued in that section, and that eventually that could cause a problem, and they turn loose. So anyway, now that you see that's the big negative, and there's not a genuine leather option. So you either have hardcover or you have the synthetic cover. Now the block will come indexed or non-indexed. So this one is the synthetic cover, non-indexed, and you have one ribbon, and it's nice. It's not bad. Also, you can see this cover. The corners kind of want to pull upward because of the way that paste down is glued. Hopefully, as this gets broken in, it'll push that back down and let it mold over that block a little bit better. Anyway, so you can get a better shot of those there's not signatures of those that stack misalignment there as well. So potential problems. The bigger tragedy is that it's South Korean printing, South Korean paper, which means it's excellent printing, excellent paper. And it's the same kind of story in the Illustrated Study Bible, because it's such an awesome study Bible, such an awesome printing and paper, but it's also a glued binding. And I've had a couple of friends that have those Bibles that they've already had some issues with a couple pages getting loose. So it's just one of those, with these kind of Bibles, you've got to be careful with them, so that you don't damage them, because they're not going to be as tough as a sewn binding. All right, so I'm going to go through this. It's going to take a minute, so just be patient with me. If you're interested in this Bible, just hang out. So you see the paste down. You have your leather kind of end sheet. It lays flat. It's nice because it just lays flat, and it lays flat right out of the box. So that's one nice part about this. It's not so tightly bound that it won't lay flat. You have your presentation page and your title page, and then on your publication page, you can see it's a South Korean printing, 2018 printing, and you can see the different covers. There's hardcover and then 4 LeatherLike editions in their ISBNs. So now this Bible, although granted, I don't agree. I love Chuck Swindoll's voice. I've grown up listening to him. I don't agree 100% with his theology or his even his insights. I'm not sure if they're completely accurate, but it's always good to take advice of godly people, whether you agree with them or not. It's always good to listen to them. So that's why I'm giving this Swindoll Study Bible a good chance on me, because I really respect Chuck Swindoll. Even though I don't agree with him 100% on every little theological thing, I'm looking forward to digging into this because he is a godly man, and I know I can learn a lot from him, even though we don't agree on certain things. So anyway, so here's the Study Bible user's guide. It's going to talk about some of the features. You have the book introductions, which is common. It's pretty common for a study Bible. Application articles. He has a lot of these full-page application articles that are kind of give you stories from his life and kind of examples of how to apply Scripture in your life. People profiles are really important to tell you who the people are in the Bible, so you can easily relate to the stories of the Bible. These two right here are my two favorite parts of this Bible. The Holy Land Tour and the prayer moments are my two favorite parts of this Bible. You also have the Living Insights, which the little chunks of application. Now, it's not your typical exegetical study Bible like the ESV Study Bible or any of those that would tell you about what this means. These Living Insights more tell you how does this apply instead of what does this mean. So just so you're aware, it's not a study Bible for from a scholarly perspective. It's a study Bible from application perspective. So you also have the app, which is going to give you more access to a lot more information as well. So you have a note to the readers, and then talks about the New Living Translation, and you have your translation team and contributors, and you can see Chuck Swindoll is a key contributor for most of this Bible, so you know it's coming from him, and he has approved all of this, so that's good. You get an explanation of the Pentateuch, which is first 5 books, and then you have your book introduction for Genesis. So it talks about who wrote the book, where are they, and you also have kind of the why is it important, what's the big idea, what's the overarching idea, and how does it apply. You have some graphs and charts, which are really cool as far as talking about the timeline. That's really good. You have a map over here. This is kind of common stuff throughout this Bible. Here's an example of one of your Living Insights. They're about on almost every page where there's text. You're going to have some Living Insights, which, like I said, it's not going to talk about what this word means. It's going to say, what does this passage, how does this apply to me, to humanity? The text is really nice. It's about a 10-point font, 9 to a 10-point font. I don't know what, I hadn't really actually looked it up to see what the internet says that the actual font is, but in my eyes, it appears to be a 9 to a 10-point font. You see here's more Living Insights. Where you have text, you're going to most likely have some Living Insights. Here's one of the articles, the application articles. They're nice. I've overviewed a couple of them, and they're funny and really engaging, nice articles. Again, text, Living Insights. You have another article. Here's the start of one of my favorite things of this Bible. This is part of the Holy Land Tour, and there's an index in the back, and I'll show you all the indexes in the back. But this is the first one. This is the Garden of Eden, and it kind of shows a picture of what would be considered Eden, and it shows you the part of the world which has been in Iraq, or back in that point it was Mesopotamia. But anyway, and it kind of gives you some information, and these are throughout the Bible. Okay, they're intermixed throughout the Bible. They're not all in one chunk section, which I think is really neat. So here's a personal profile, and I want to find a prayer moments. That's the only other feature that I'd like to show you guys before I jump to the back to show you some other little features as far as the indexes. So you have your profiles, Cain, you have Noah here, and it's really cool because it shows a lot of the quick facts and key lessons there. Along with reading the entirety of this, you can kind of know a lot just from the key facts. Anyway, I do like that there are two different colors. You have the blue for your little section headings and your chapter numbers, and then the rest is this nice dark black. It's not line matched, but this South Korean paper and printing is just so nice that there's not much ghosting. Even in the article sections, there's not much ghosting. I'm really impressed. I just wish it was a sewn binding. I just really wish it was. Anyway, let me see if I can find a prayer moments, which is one of my favorite parts. And I probably should have one marked prior. Here's one. This is relating to Genesis 14, and you can just see you're a patient father. You know, you can just see it's just a guided prayer. Guided prayer is so good. I typically use Valley of Vision for my guided prayer, but this is a great way to have it incorporated in your, especially if you're in a reading plan. If you're doing a reading plan, you can engage with the prayer moments, you can engage with the living insights, you can engage with the articles that are involved in your section of reading for that day. So it's really a great toolbox full of tools if you did that reading plan. Okay, so we've gone through and I've shown you examples of all the features. You've seen those things. Now I want to show you where these separations are. This is where one separation is. You hear that crinkle? That means that there's a problem with where it was glued together, and that's what's causing that deviation from the stack. So you're going to find that there's one right here, and then where this other separation is, there's one here as well. You hear that? The rest of the sections don't sound like that. They're smooth. You get what I'm saying? So there's a problem in that glued section, and I'm sure the people at Tyndale would either, I don't know if that qualifies as something to be returned, or if that's within their tolerance of quality control. Not really sure. So I just wanted you to be aware of that in those sections, that's probably what caused that deviation in the stack. So, all right. So in the back, you can see it's a black letter text. You have continued these living insights, articles, prayer moments. You have your Holy Land tour. You have all these great features. And even if you didn't like for me, some of these biblical insights or these living insights, they are just about how this applies, John 17:1, how that applies. So there's really not much study material between John 17:1 and John 17:21. So it's not so much a study Bible as it is an application Bible. So that's why I don't really mind using this, because it's not giving false information. It's giving, pastoral advice basically in these living insights. Let me just go into the back and I'll show you these indexes. You also have a glossary and concordance in the back. You have a Bible reading plan in the back. You have a lot of good stuff when you get past Revelation. So here we go. At the end, you see search the scriptures. kind of a guide for study. Okay, so you have the explanation of searching the scriptures. You have kind of your observations. It's really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. So read through that. And that's a method of study for any time you approach. This would be your method of study. You have some different. This is just having to do with Philippians. You see that. Review your study on Philippians 4. Come up with your approach. Anyway, so that's just an example of study of the scriptures. You have a Bible reading plan. You can have. They all have check boxes beside the day, and it's a 5-day-a-week reading plan. So it's 5 on, 2 off, which is definitely the way I would do it. You need to have a break so that you don't burn yourself out. So this is definitely a good reading plan. It's not difficult at all. So anyway, and it goes week by week, and Monday through Friday you just check it off. All right. And you have an Old Testament and then you have a New Testament. So you would actually check in 2 different places, Old Testament and New Testament, which would be 4 passages in all, which is not terrible. All right, so you have an index to the application articles, which is great. It kind of gives you a topical index on the subject matter of the article. Actually, it's the title of the article. And then you have the index from, and that's for each article in each book, which is great. And you have your index to the people profiles. So all the people that are profiled in here, that'll tell you what page to find their profiles on. So if we're talking about Daniel, and well, what about Daniel? Let's find out a little bit about him. You can see his profile's on page 1009. So that way you'll know. I can go to 1009 and get a lot more information about just Daniel. Now this is, like I said, this is one of my favorite parts. And there's so many stops on this Holy Land tour that really, if you're reading and you have a question about one of these ancient places, they're going to most likely be back here. So you can find a place, the Mount of Olives, 1121 is the page number for the Holy Land Tour article. Anyway, really good stuff. You have a topical. Hang on, did I skip a page? I think I might have. No, I don't think I did. It felt like I did, but I don't think I did. All right, so topical index to the features, which that includes the insights and the applications, profiles. That includes everything. So it'll go from Abraham. You'll have all the insights involved with Abraham. You'll have all the application articles involved with Abraham. It's really kind of cool to have them indexed topically, whether it's by person or by topic. Abuse, you have insights that deal with abuse, application articles that deal with abuse. So it's good to have these indexes in the back to help you find, so you don't just have to randomly come upon the right article that will help you. So it really does help you find what you're looking for. All right, so we're pushing 20 minutes on this thing so far. It's like I said, it's a lot of stuff in this Bible. A lot of stuff. Now you have your NLT dictionary concordance after that topical index. Good stuff here. Gives the definition and a concordance to tell you where you would find that word in the scriptures. So pretty self-explanatory with the dictionary concordance, which is great. It's very helpful. At the end of the dictionary concordance, you have the Holy Land itinerary. That's really cool. as far as, just telling you, if you're planning a trip, this is a really cool itinerary to go on. Here's another one, and you have several different trips, and that would be the titled Mountains and Valleys. You have this strategic cities, and there's several of them. It's just really awesome. You have Jesus Ministry Travels, places of worship. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite parts of this whole Bible, especially when relating my life to the area of the Holy Land in that first century. It helps me get my mind in a place where I can really understand the context of the scriptures. You have your maps, which are nice maps. They're glossy cardstock maps, but you already have some maps on the interior as well. So, but these are nice full color maps, really good stuff. Several of them. You have your end sheet and paste down, and on the back you have your ISBN there for this edition. The hardcover is the same way. Okay, so I'm just doing this one review to cover both of these. So hopefully that's enough information for you to help make your mind up on this Bible. Please, I know that it's one of my biggest pet peeves. It's a glued binding, but give it a shot. Give it a chance. It's an awesome Bible, and really I look forward to digging into these two Bibles, and we'll see how it holds up. It might hold up a lot better than I'm expecting with the glued binding. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe. And like I said, I've got a lot of reviews coming up in the coming weeks and months. So just be subscribed so you'll get notifications when I get those posted. And anyway, thanks for watching. God bless.